Welcome to day 3 of the Active Moms Challenge. Give yourself a pat on the back for making it all the way through to the last day. Let's keep your momentum rolling and just get to it. We're going to put it all together today and go over an exercise that gives you a lot of bang for your buck because we're all busy moms that don't have an hour long to exercise 5 days a week. Today we're going to cover squats and how to make them more challenging as you get stronger. So make sure that you stay tuned through the end of the video to save yourself time and get some extra ideas on additional exercises you might consider as part of your exercise routine that are beneficial for a lot of moms. As you might have guessed from my previous ramblings, our core and our pelvic floor don't work in isolation. Changes with pregnancy and birth affect the whole body. So let's combine what we learned from the past 2 days into some functional strengthening. Like I mentioned, we're going to go over squats today. So my question for you is, how many squats do you think you do a day? And I'm going to give you a little hint. Squatting to pick up your baby counts. So you probably do a ton of squats, especially when you're lifting something like your child. You can sneak in some exercise without taking any additional time out of your day. What's so special about the squat? It allows us an opportunity to work on your posture, your pelvic floor, your core, and your leg strength all at once. And the squatting form that we're reviewing today is specifically intended for managing challenging loads, but you can practice it with no load to master the form first. In order to lay the foundation for our good squat form today, I want you to use support for your squat. So you're going to find a counter, a TRX band, a door handle, or just something sturdy to grab onto. And we're going to start with the foundation of your feet. So once you have your support, we're going to go over your squat form before we do our full squats in our challenge position. So what I'm going to have you start out with is actually your base. I want you to be a little less than arm's length away from your support. And then I want you to start with your feet. So you're going to spread your feet about hip width apart. And then what we're going to do with our feet, to me, is really important and helpful. You're going to try to think about spreading your toes. So I've worked on this a while, so I can actually actively spread my toes. But when I started out, I had to physically go down and kind of separate my big toe and my little toe. And this just gives you a lot of surface area to grip the floor from and helps incorporate some strength in the small muscles in our feet that help give us support. What you're going to think about is making a tripod with your foot. So you're going to put pressure through the heel of your foot, through the base of your big toe, and the base of your little toe. And you're going to think about just gripping the floor with that tripod foot. So we've got our nice, solid, sturdy base. Those big toes are going to stay down as we squat. You may notice that depending on your squat form, your toes might want to pop up, and that actually indicates that your core is not staying as active either. So start with your foot form, and we're going to work down from there. As you're going to do your squat, we're going to come tall through our spine. And then as you squat down, you may think about just drawing your pubic bone gently towards your face like we did in the plank, so that you can keep a neutral position for your back. So I'll show you here. So staying neutral, I'm using my arms just to help me to start off with. Right now I'm sitting back pretty far into my squat, but when you start to do that unsupported, as long as you don't have a lot of knee pain, it's okay for those knees to drift slightly forward. Again, if you have knee pain, you might have to modify that some. You're going to not let those knees cave in. They're going to stay over your toes. And we're squatting down and back up. And next we're going to incorporate our breath work from yesterday, if you'd like to. So if you want to start with just the breathing, that's fine. You can do a breath in on the way down, staying long through your spine, breath out on the way up. Especially when we're lifting our babies, that breath up again helps us to engage our core and give us a little extra strength and support. Again, this is just one strategy to do things if you're having a challenging time with squatting and lifting things. If you want to incorporate your pelvic floor, if that's been something that you've been working on, you're just going to add that Kegel with your exhale on the way up. So we're going to relax everything, squat down, staying straight through our spine, and then breath out and Kegel gently as you come up. Just remember that if you're going to do the Kegels and be activating through your core, you want to give yourself some time to relax. So relaxation is going to look like that lower abdominal area, maybe even pooching out a little bit as we relax, and that's okay. But as a lot of women, a lot of us have been told to kind of like grip and suck in. So we want our core and our pelvic floor to be coordinated and be able to activate and relax. So go ahead, give that squatting form a try, and then I want you to find your challenge position. So as I talk about challenge position, you can use support for 3 sets of 10 squats, or you can do it without support, or what I'm going to go over today is going to be doing the single leg squat. So whatever form you choose, I just want to make sure that you're able to use good form and that you're able to get that muscle fatigue with it. So quick note on doing the squats with support. The way you want to progress from support to no support is to slowly wean off how much support you're giving through your arms. So you're going to continue working through your legs and still trying to maintain your form and your position without having the support of your arms. Once you can do that with basically nothing, then you're just going to progress away from the support and just do free squats. Another point on progressing, so if you want to progress from double leg squats, you can start to add some weight as you're doing that. A kettlebell is one great idea, or you can do the single leg squats that we talked about today. It really depends on what your personal goals are if you're going to be doing a lot of like single leg activities. Let's go ahead and pick our self-selected challenge position. We're going to do as many squats as we can until we either hit fatigue or the breakdown of our form. I'm going to have you guys choose your position. My position that I'm going to choose is my single leg squat. And as we're doing this, I'm going to go over the form. So we're going ahead and doing our squats. As you're doing a single leg squat, your base is going to be the same as when you were doing the double leg squat. We still want to have that tripod foot on the foot that you're standing on. What you want to watch out for that I'm trying to do here is make sure that your hips stay level. So one side isn't necessarily dropping as I go to squat. I'm using the outside of my hip or my glutes to help keep me level. This single leg squat can be helpful if you're just trying to progress the challenge and continue strengthening if that double leg squat gets easy. It's also good for progressing to more impact activities like doing a sport or running. So we want to make sure that the outside of that hip is strong too. So I'm going to switch to the other leg. I think I probably did about 10. So if you're doing double leg squats, you're going to do 3 sets of 10 if you can, or wherever you get fatigued or lose your form. For double leg squats, ideally, you would do at least 2 sets of 10 on each side. So again, just to check in and see how you're doing. I'm not using as much of the breathing. This isn't as challenging for me anymore. So as you're doing this exercise, you just want to make sure that your back is staying neutral. So I'll come back to the side again. We don't want to be getting a lot of dip here in our back, so that's why we're using our core some to keep your spine neutral. So especially on the way up, I just use my exhale and engaging your core as well. So now that I'm slightly out of breath, go ahead and continue doing your squats. Like I said, until you get to 3 sets of 10 of the double leg squat, possibly 2 sets of 10 of the single leg squat, you get fatigued or you start losing your form. Woohoo! You made it through the exercise portion of the Active Moms Challenge. Please stay tuned all the way through the end to get my final thoughts on what will help you move forward from today. My challenge for you from day 3 is to find 2 to 3 days a week to work on strengthening an area that you're struggling with or that would help you reach another goal, like returning to sport or an activity that you would enjoy. This could be the squats, or this could be some other exercise. I'm going to give you some ideas in a minute. My last thoughts that I want to leave you with is this. Here's a secret that I know as a provider. You have the opportunity to know your body better than anyone else. So tune into your body, listen to what it needs, and make a plan from there that works for you. If you need help, seek assistance from someone who knows the postpartum body. That could be a women's health PT. The strategies we reviewed in this 3-day challenge were general and just one way to do things. So don't be afraid to modify what we did today in a way that works for you. Other ideas for some great challenge exercises postpartum include mastering the hip hinge with a deadlift, see the reconnecting with your abs after baby unit in the part 2 video in that section if you're wanting more tips on incorporating core work into more dynamic activities like the hip hinge and deadlift. Also, mastering the overhead lift can be helpful for someone who's trying to challenge themselves and experience changes with the pelvic floor. You just want to make sure that you're paying attention to the pressure that you're creating with your breath as you do that. Another idea would be to work on your adductors or your glutes. I can personally tell you that I was very weak on my inner thighs postpartum. And if you focus on your side plank, you can actually get some work to your adductor if you do it the right way, but you can also target this muscle group separately. And an idea for the glutes is that you could do some more focused work on the outside of your hip. Any muscles that attach around the pelvis help to support your pelvic floor too. Lunges is another idea, especially progressing them to some rotation. And then one thing we focused on in this challenge has been a lot of strength and activation of our muscles, but mobility work can also be really important postpartum. And one reason why that is that our posture changes to accommodate our growing baby, especially our backs, our hips, our feet, and even our shoulders can be really beneficial areas to work on some mobility, especially with the repetitive postures that we have to use throughout the day to care for our babies. Thank you all so much for joining me for this 3-day challenge. Just a reminder, this is your last chance to enter the giveaway. See the post for more details. And if you like this and want a little more support, sign up for the Active Moms Postpartum Foundation's virtual workshop that starts January 5th. If you want to focus on your health in 2021, let's do it together and in a way that recognizes the strength of moms and doesn't ignore it. See the link in this post to sign up and for more details. I'll see you all in the group for a live with Eliza January 4th to kick off the new year with a discussion on body image. Yay for you! You completed this challenge and you're one strong mama.